Imagine a time, thousands of years ago, when the world looked very different. Our story begins with a voice, softly telling us about the trolls who once lived right alongside humans. Back then, they weren't the monsters we see in scary movies. No, they were huge, innocent creatures with bodies made of stone and hearts made of the earth itself. They were a peaceful part of nature, harmless to everyone. The only thing they feared was the sun, because one touch of sunlight would turn them into cold, hard rock. For a long time, humans and trolls lived in harmony, but as the years passed, things started to change. Christianity began to spread, and people started believing that the world belonged only to humans, that there was no room for trolls. They began to hunt them. It was heartbreaking. They would drag these innocent creatures out into the burning sunlight just to watch them turn to stone. They even discovered that holy water and the ringing of church bells caused the trolls unbearable pain, weakening them so the humans could strike. We learn that this is a story Nora's father used to tell her when she was just a little girl. He was always so sad that humans had turned their backs on the trolls. Little Nora, moved by her father's words, made a promise. If any good trolls were still out there, she would spend her life helping them. Fast forward years later, and Nora is all grown up. Her father has passed away, and in her grief, she's moved into the heart of the forest. She isn't just living there, she's researching. You see, she saw a troll once years ago, and now all her doubts are gone. She's dedicated her life to finding the truth. One day, a man suddenly enters her house. Thinking he's an intruder, Nora attacks him from behind, but it turns out to be Chad, the president's personal secretary. He's helped Nora before, and even though he works for the government, he secretly wants to protect the trolls too. He learned from Nora's father that these creatures aren't evil. Chad has a massive secret. He takes Nora to a hidden, high-tech lab where they meet Professor Larry. Just like Nora, the professor has been obsessed with trolls. And then, Nora sees something that takes her breath away. A troll captured during the Nazi era is right there in the lab. They call him Jerry. The scientists explain that Jerry has been asleep for 100 years. But then Nora hears something that makes her blood boil. They've been cutting off pieces of Jerry's body for research. Feeling a deep surge of pity, Nora takes an elevator up to the troll's massive ear. She doesn't use a needle or a knife, she simply reads a poem to him, her voice filled with love. That emotion wakes him. After a century of sleep, Jerry opens his eyes. But when he realizes he's tied up and being experimented on, he wakes up angry, very angry. He breaks his chains, destroys the lab, and tosses Nora's elevator aside. Thankfully, Nora survives the fall, but Jerry is on a rampage. He bursts out into the world, crushing everything in his path, ignoring cars and homes, just walking forward like a force of nature. The situation gets terrifying when Jerry reaches a party where children are playing. He breaks through the roof and actually grabs the children. It becomes clear, unlike the stories, this troll is dangerous. Nora and her team are called in to meet the president. The president wants Jerry dead. Plain and simple. But Nora and Chad can't stand the thought of killing him. They agree to the mission, but secretly, they're planning a way to save him. They're joined by Captain Chris, a tough soldier who prepares a fleet of helicopters equipped with massive UV lights, hoping to turn Jerry to stone. That night, Jerry is actually eating people. It's horrific. Chris and his team fly in and blast him with the UV lights, but it doesn't work. Jerry is too strong. He gets so frustrated that he rips an electric tower right out of the ground and hurls it at the helicopters. It hits Chris's friend, killing him instantly. Now, the mission is personal. Chris is furious and wants revenge, but Nora stops them. She pleads with them, explaining that it was humans who turned these creatures into monsters by hurting them first. When they ask her what they should do instead, she simply says, "I have an idea." She leads the team to a massive hidden cave. It turns out Jerry isn't the only one. There's another troll, a kind one that Nora met years ago. She's visited him many times. He's a friend. Nora tells the team the dark truth. Humans slaughtered all the trolls in these mountains 100 years ago. Only this one baby survived and grew up alone. She calls him Nature. Nora reads a poem to Nature, asking for his help to stop Jerry's path of destruction. Nature understands. He goes to meet Jerry, but Jerry is too far gone. He hates humans too much to listen. Jerry stomps his foot with such force that the ice beneath Nature cracks and the kind troll falls into the freezing water. Nora is devastated, thinking her friend has drowned. Jerry continues toward the city of Trondheim. Nora realizes he's heading for the burial place of Saint Olaf. Legend said, Saint Olaf! Olaf's tomb was in the church, but no one could ever find it. Using their skills, Nora and Chad find 3 mysterious marks on a painting keys to a secret door. They use sticks to trigger the mechanism. The wall turns, and there he is, Olaf's body. Inside the grave, they find a silver sword and a letter. They realize this letter matches a fragment found in the old lab. When they put the pieces together, the real history comes out. Saint Olaf never ordered the trolls to be killed. He actually wanted them moved away so everyone could live in peace. It was the church that disobeyed him, killed the trolls, and then murdered Olaf to cover their tracks, blaming him for the massacre. Jerry isn't just attacking, he's coming to Trondheim to avenge his family. Nora remembers the troll's weakness, holy water. There is a huge lake of it beneath the church. The army and the locals scramble to make holy water bombs. When Jerry arrives at night, they blast him with church bells and throw the bombs. It hurts him, but it mostly just makes him move faster and destroy more. Just when things look hopeless, nature emerges from the water. He's alive! The 2 giants begin to fight in the middle of the town. Nora's team realizes that to stop Jerry, the holy water has to hit his heart directly, not just his skin, but it's impossible to get a clear shot. That's when Chad decides to do the unthinkable. He decides to sacrifice himself. He plans to jump into the troll's mouth with the last bomb. It's a heavy, emotional moment. Chad calls his wife one last time to say goodbye and tells her to let their baby know how much he loved her. Then, he leaps from the helicopter and drives the bomb straight into Jerry's mouth. A brilliant light explodes from Jerry's chest, and his body crumbles into dust. Nature reaches out, grabs the heart, and throws it far away. Jerry is gone. The city is safe, but the team is heartbroken over the loss of Chad. Months later, life has changed. Chad's son has been born, a small piece of him left behind. The team is visiting Nora's house when suddenly, the ground begins to shake. Nora looks out the window and smiles. It's nature! The world has finally learned that trolls aren't the enemy. Nature doesn't have to hide anymore. He helps the people, and humans and trolls are finally friends again. But, as the story ends, we see a lingering shadow. Back in a lab, a professor is watching a tiny new troll grow in a glass tank. No one knows what he plans to do with it, or if the piece will truly last.